Good evening. Francie asked me what my favorite quote is and why. And I actually wanted to start with the quote from the movie Howl. Let there be light, let there be honesty, let there be no running from non-existent destroyers of morals, let there be honest understanding. Because it's very important to our society, I think. But it's such a deep topic to get into, so I thought maybe I just take the very basic quote, "There's nothing more badass than being who you are" by Darren Criss, because it's, I don't know, very inspiring. And I really, I don't know, connect to that quote because I feel like I can't always be who I really am around the people I live with. And it's something I need to remind myself of every now and then, that it's okay to be who you are and you've got to embrace yourself. And so, yeah, that's the thing I really love about Darren, that he's so honest about these things, even when it's such a very basic quote. She also asked, what do you think is something people start to overlook? And I think our society is really, I don't know, fucked up in the way that we always try to cut everything down to what we think is right and what we think is accepting or should be accepted. But we're all just people, you know. We can't always do everything the right way, and we make mistakes. And I think, yeah, we just overlook that we're people in the end, and we go home and we think about our day and realize, oh, that thing I said or the thing I did wasn't the right thing in that moment, and it's okay, you know? We're just people. We do make mistakes. Um, if you could bring one person back to life, who would it be and why? Um, well, I actually think everything's okay the way it is. People die. It's just a thing that happens, and I'd like to have a talk with Kurt Cobain because he's like, I don't know, my idol. And although I don't live in a time where I've still experienced all the influence he's had on youth and the music industry, but I'd really have like to have a talk with him about, I don't know, his views on people, on society, on morals, on drugs as well, because although he was an addict, he didn't really like that he was. And, you know, I feel like I could really talk to him about deeper topics because he was also such an abrasive person. And yeah, it's sad that I'm so young and that I was basically born a year after he'd already died. So yeah. And Lucy said, Lucy wants me to talk about my favorite food because she didn't have a better question. I really like pasta with scrambled eggs and spinach because I'm weird. And it's basically something I could eat every day for the rest of my life and I wouldn't get bored with it. Um, and she also wants me to talk about something I really like. And I really like theater and musicals. And, you know, I've been influenced by Bear, the musical, because it talks about the topic of homosexuality in connection with religion and the pressure of society to be something they want you to be, although you really aren't. You feel forced to just hide yourself away from it. And yeah, so I've been listening to the soundtrack for years and years, crying myself to sleep at night. Um, I don't know, because yeah, I love it, but it also kind of hurts whenever I listen to it because I feel so connected to it and it doesn't have a good ending, but it also kind of does. I don't know, it sends a really strong message. And Spring Awakening, of course, it's the basic thing in theater you like because it talks about youth and sexuality in a very open way, and it talks about, mm, adults reacting to children, not telling them what they want to know because they feel like it's not right or not suitable for people of a young age to deal with topics such as sex and relationships and what's really important at that age. I mean, who doesn't think about sex at our age? I mean, of course there are people who are asexual or who want to I don't know, hide that topic away from them because they feel more comfortable without it, but I'm not one of them. So that musical is really awesome. And Matt Doyle, and I've ran it to Franzi for it God, about it for a really long time and a really long message. I don't want to don't want to really talk about it in detail right now, but he's like such an inspiration and such a really, really warm person. When you look at a person and you see, my God, they really enjoy life and they've gone through so much shit, but they can still laugh and love and embrace life as it comes. And God, I was just, you know, I'm so inspired by him as a person, as well as Darren. They're kind of at the same level for me because they are successful, but they haven't always been, and they come from a place where, you know, you live your life and then you kind of get to a point where you want to change things and you want to really embrace who you are and you want to get on top of things. You want to control your own life. So you get into music or theater or acting, whatever, and you just, I don't know, you are your own person and you can still be successful and get people to like you or just by being yourself. It's a great thing. I don't know whether I would be able to do that, you know, if I was a person of public interest, you know, people following me around or people watching everything I do because they are interested in your personal lives or your personal thoughts on whatever subject. People come up to you and ask you questions and they really care about what you have to say about it. And just, wow, touche. I would probably hide myself away and try to, I don't know, keep it all to myself. Um, and that's a really stupid video because I made like 20,000 grammatical mistakes. But it feels really nice to talk about things like that when, you know, I live in a household where we just talk about our day. We sometimes talk about religious issues or personal issues, but not in a really free way, because I know I'd always be sort of judged for whatever I have to say. So, yeah. Um, Fruce is my OTP. I don't know. My one true pairing. These two people, Francie and Lucy, are the lights of my life. I love you both, and you both love each other, and that really gives me something. I open Tumblr and I think, my God, these two people, they are meant to be. Is that what you wanted to hear? Because it really is the truth. Okay, have a nice night. Take care of yourselves, and love you. Good night.